Welcome to our podcast, Može Kafa. We are Ivana
and Maki,
your host. In this podcast, we discuss interesting details about Serbian language and culture from a learner's and teacher's perspective.
We offer new and fun resources for learners of Serbian. To follow each episode with annotated script, vocabulary, and quizzes, join us also at Može Kafa Podcast on Instagram. So if you're ready, grab a cup of coffee and enjoy the podcast.
Dobro jutro svima. Hi everyone, or good morning everyone. We are here again with episode 5. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I think Maki and I can agree that we're all very thankful that you are finding this interesting and helpful. So
sending comments and suggestions. We really appreciate all of it.
Exactly. So leave the comments, text us. We like the feedback. Okay, so as you know, we are Ivana and Maki, and today we're going to talk about New Year's or Christmas celebrations in Serbia. And I want to put these two together because I have to say we don't have many New Year's rules or guidelines, so it's more on Christmas. That's like a more important date for us.
And surprisingly, for the people who don't know, your Christmas is completely different date.
Yes. If you don't know, we follow the Julian calendar, so not Gregorian calendar, and that one is 13 days. There's a 13-day difference, which means that we're basically late 13 days on everything, which means that we celebrate the New Year's Eve because it's like the normal one, Western one, so to speak, on the 31st. But we have another one. Yes. Which is on the 13th. So we celebrate twice.
If you can't get enough, right?
Exactly. We can't get enough of parties. So if you love celebrating, go to Serbia. But we celebrate Christmas only once because it's a religious holiday. So we follow the Julian calendar. So do you have some questions for me? Because I have many things to tell you.
Sure.
I just want to say that I've been researching. I haven't followed many customs, but I know that whatever I say today is probably going to be very different depending on the region. And this is where I want everyone else's input, what you've heard, which traditions you've done. And I read a bit and it's all really fascinating. Some of them were quite new to me. So sorry if I miss out on something. Also, we don't have as much time for everything. So bear with us. But yeah, let us know everything.
Sure. I will ask the general question first that I have. It's not about the tradition only, but I have, some friends here already. So I'd like to know what kind of presents for friends or families are bought during the New Year. Is there a tradition for choosing your presents?
I don't remember buying so many presents, actually.
Okay.
I think it's a bigger thing in everywhere else, around Christmas, I'm guessing. Sure, you can buy a present, but I don't think it's so important for us. That part is not so important. What I was expecting was the present for Santa Claus, who were my parents. So, and that would always be underneath the tree, and it will be either on the 31st of December or 1st of January. That depends on your family and when you want to do it, because we don't have Christmas on the 25th, right? So we don't do it then. So I would wake up and it would always be a bag of sweets. Snacks, chips and googie, smoky, Eurocreme, plasma, of course, plasma everywhere. And all of that stuff. So that's something I would get from my parents, and very rarely would I get something from anyone else. Aside, maybe if your friends really wanted, gift you something, that's really nice, but not necessary. It's not a must for us.
Right.
But inside a family, yes.
Something
and as
sweet.
You go older, but as you grow older, you're not a kid anymore, so you maybe don't want sweets, and you also want to give something to your parents. So this is where it kind of gets tricky. But there's no one rule of what to give, but we still love sweets. Even if we're 40, 50, 60, we love snacks. So that's always it's kind of going imagine you're 30 and I give you a bag of snacks and it brings you back to that childhood.
Yeah,
remember?
that's actually quite sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sweet moment. I mean, my mom already prepared a bag of sweets for me. So
I hope you enjoy them all. Second question then. What do you do in general? Do you go to a mountain house to, spend the New Year's Eve there or the Christmas? Or do you spend that time at home and do you gather, before the pandemic, of course, do you gather at one home and like as a big family, or how do you celebrate the New Year and the Christmas?
So I will talk about Christmas a bit later on in a bit more detail, but for New Year's Eve, sure, you can go somewhere, but it's like New Year's Eve is mostly it's with your family, or if you're like a teenager, with your friends, right? Like even if you're not a teenager, if you're like in your 20s, it's usually with your friends. It's kind of sad if you're with your parents and you're 25. So either with your partner or with your friends, it's usually partying, right? So they would always have some sort of offers in cafes, well, not cafes, but like bars and maybe some restaurants, or you can go outside on the square. That's also something that you can do. There's also some offers to go for like one night somewhere, like to Vienna, something near, Budapest, Vienna, something that you can like, or Zagreb or whatever. So you can do that, but and sure, you can go to some mountain, but not many people do it. It's mostly like you just want to be with your friends at home or somewhere celebrating.
I'm asking that because I think maybe it's because of pandemic. We wanted to rent a house in Kopernik on the New Year's Eve. And there was literally nothing left. Everything was booked. So that's why we are going there on 24th to 27th. So I thought maybe like it's a kind of tradition here. Everybody goes onto the mountains to ski during the New Year's holidays. I don't know.
But the thing is that I'm thinking about it. I have never done it, and my friends have never done it. My like friends or relatives or anything like that. And I think the reason for that was because it's for me, it's just too far away. I'm up in the north, so it would take like hours to get there. If it's snowing, you need the chains, right, for the car, or sometimes you don't want to travel so much on the mountainous area, like when it's maybe a bit slippery or God knows what. And also, I don't know if the ski resorts are open then on that day, because if you're just going to go for one night or 2 nights, then, I don't know if you would be able to ski. So I think these are some of the reasons, but I definitely had some plans to like go with my partner or like with some of my friends. We just never did it, but I'm sure it's pretty popular because it's like you have that like atmosphere, like there's snow, it's nature, it's like you're cozy in the cottage or house,
and a fireplace inside the home. So that sounds really, really beautiful to me.
But that
that's
sounds
why we're trying
very
it.
Western.
I
have to say, it sounds for me, because it's like the fireplace. We don't have a fireplace. Who has a fireplace in the house? So but it's a great idea. But I want to know from everyone else in the south or in the central area of Serbia, what do you do? Do you do this? Because I've never done it, and I don't know anyone who's done it. But it's a really nice idea.
Okay, all right. I will let you know how it was afterwards, after our time in the mountains.
You are gonna go.
We are going, yes. Not on the New Year's Eve beforehand, but still we will see the atmosphere.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay. Well, it's going to be amazing, I'm sure.
Another question, if I may. I heard this tradition when I first came here. Sava, I guess? Slava.
It was like Sava.
It's church Sava. It's something else.
Slava.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you may mention how it is done, or do you do it as a family? What is the meaning of it?
I think that will be that doesn't have much to do with New Year's Eve or Christmas. Actually, I would do that as a separate episode probably, because that would be nice to research a bit. But there is kind of like an overlap, I would say, because let me just think about it. The most famous Slava, which is feast day, that's a same patron day. Every family has the same patron. The most common one is Nikola, Sveti Nikola. But there's also Sveti Jovan and many others. And and that is the day where you just like kind of gather and celebrate your saint, and you get your saint patron from your dad.
Yeah.
So if I marry, I cannot continue the tradition, so I have to take my husband's saint patron. That's how it goes.
I see.
Yeah, but I want to say that because our Christmas is on the 7th of January, exactly, and so Christmas Eve is on the 6th, and that's exactly like 13 days after the Western Christmas, and before Christmas you start with a 40-day fast, and that's the personal part that we were talking about.
Yes, actually, I was curious about it, and I think I mixed them because in Slava time, I think you don't also eat like dairy, eggs, and stuff for some time. Yeah. That's why I think I mix them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some of the Slavas can be Postna Slava. Yeah, that's true. So it's like no dairy, no eggs, no what else? Meat, of course, no meat. But
for 40 days.
40 days up until Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, you still eat something that's like basically vegan, if you think about it, plant-based. It doesn't have, if you're like very religious or you want to kind of like cleanse your body, that's when you do it. 4 days. I've never done it personally. I was just never into it that much. But then when you eat meat and like really eat heavy, that's Christmas. And on Christmas, that's the day when you eat like a pig. And in Serbia, we mostly eat like on Christmas, it's like pork, for example. And heavy stuff. And there's so many other things that you can eat, but pork is one of them. But on Christmas Eve, you would eat like something. There's baked beans that are called prebranac.
My favorite.
You do like it?
Yes, but without meat, of course. But I really like it.
Yes. Or you can make sarma without meat, for example. That's also something you can make. There's so many other types, like potatoes, and, we love potatoes. And
mushrooms as well.
And mushrooms, and So you can make many things. I don't really know anything specific, but there's anything so much traditional. But again, I invite everyone's comments to let me know. But I want to tell you that for me, it was slightly different. So what we would do for me, Christmas Eve was the most important day, because it was the day where you as kids do korinđenje. So for me, the most important day was Christmas Eve, actually, Christmas Eve, because which is Badnje veče, and Christmas is Božić. And it was the day on Christmas Eve where kids go around, and it's kind of like this trick or treat actually thing, which is called korinđenje. Have you heard about it?
Yes, I heard of it.
Yeah. Okay. And korinđenje is basically like kids go around with a empty bag, like begging for sweets or like nuts or something, or like fruits, and they just recite something. And usually the thing that they recite is really funny. So something like, ja sam mala kuma, ne treba mi ruma, samo malo para I mnogo vam hvala. And basically stating like, I'm a little godmother, I don't need rum, just a bit of money, and thank you very much.
And the kids are saying this.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's about the other dirty things that you can say as well. So, and that maybe some people would give them money. It's like, it's a bit funny. But the thing is that after, like when you go back home in the evening, it's like your bag is full of sweets, and you just eat that for the rest, like the next 10 days or whatever. So that was the interesting part. And what you usually do on Christmas Eve is you do like light a log fire. So this is what we call badnjak, therefore Badnje veče. And traditionally it's the oak, so hrast in Serbian, tree. And the thing is that you would gather like in front of a church or wherever there's place, you would gather. And my parents would gather in front of our house because we have a big, like a playground, something like that. So this is where they would light the log fire, and they would cook goulash or čorba, or
the stew, right?
Yes. So I'm guessing we cook goulash because we're a bit more in the north. So goulash is a Hungarian dish. So I'm sure that in the south they don't do that.
They use chorba here. I heard
Yes.
chorba as a word many times. Do you want chorba, or what was the other one? If it's more liquid,
Supa.
Supa, yes,
Yeah.
Supa or chorba.
Or
yes.
maybe you can do also pasul, beans. I mean, like you can do whatever, anything that you can cook for a long time on the fire, right? So that's something that we do on Christmas Eve. And for me, it was always so much fun. Like I get candy and I can hang out with my friends outside and there's fire and you're like, whoa, you know.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Do you know any tradition for Christmas in Serbia? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, I think I heard about the bread as well. On a hiking trip, they told me about this.
Česnica.
But yes, that was the name. I couldn't remember the name.
Yes. That's I think one of the biggest things, aside from like I wouldn't say there's like a very traditional dish, but if we have something that is česnica, which is bread that can be sweet or savory, and to be honest, in every like parts of Serbia, it can be completely different. So there's no one way to do it. In the north, we make it like a sweet version, kind of like pita, something like that, with honey and walnuts.
Oh.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to, it can just be like a normal bread, a circle, kind of like round bread, savory, like, you know, salty or something like that. The thing is that, you remember that, you put a silver coin inside, and then whoever finds the coin, and when you rip that, you know, bread apart, whoever finds the coin is going to be like have happiness and be lucky in the next year, basically. So that's like, you know, when you're a kid, like, I want the coin, and you don't know why you want it, you just want it, you know, because mom hid it somewhere in the bread. Yeah.
Have you ever found it?
I think I have. And I have not done anything with it, because it's like when you find it, then I think my mom had a specific little box where she would gather like a lucky coins. So coins from čestica, or whenever like we would get married, then we would throw coins. So these were coins that you shouldn't spend, coins that you should like save as like lucky coins. So we have one little box where we hold these. So I think one of them is there, definitely. I think I just found it once.
That's better than nothing.
Yeah. And then there's another thing that we do. It's called, it's basically like wheat sprouts or wheat grass, where this is where Slava comes in. So on St. Nicholas, Sveti Nikola, which was on December 19th, by the way. So that was actually, it's my Slava, and my parents celebrated it on Saturday. Yes.
Okay.
I didn't hear, but they did over there. They had fun. And what you do usually on that day, you put wheat in water so that it sprouts, and you have grass. And that grass is always like the decoration, you know, on the table. You know about it. I can see you nodding.
I make it because I make it for my cat, actually, and for myself, because I heard that that's quite healthy. Yeah. It has lots of antioxidants in it. So I put it in my smoothies, and luckily my cat also likes the taste of it. So
I'm going to start doing that. Literally today I'm going to go and buy it, and I'm like, I missed a Saturday, but I'm going to do it today, because I'm like, it's nothing, I know it's nothing special, but I'm like, oh, it looks so cool and traditional. Like, I want to do it. I want to see if I can do it. I mean, sure I can, but you know.
It's easy. It's easy.
Oh, and I forgot to say, I know that in like, I always like think of like the Western Europe, they're really big on like decorations as well in the house. We are not as big on decorations, really. But the only thing that we can use is like straw, because it gives you that reminder of when Jesus it's not Jesus, because Jesus was born. So that like humble beginning, right? So you can put that around the house. And walnuts, we put walnuts in each corner of the dining room.
Oh,
and I think
why is that?
I don't know. I think there is something regarding to like I don't know if it's saints or something. There is some story to it. I will definitely read up on it. But I remember when I would go to someone else's home and be like, why do you have walnuts in like each corner? You know, I'm guessing it's like blessing, like something regarding with the cross, you know, you kind of like bless the house or the beginnings. And of course you can, you know, usually what people would usually do before is like you go into the woods and cut the oak tree. Nowadays, you know, not everyone does it. So you can just take the branches. And you can find like oak branches that are dried. Like you can buy them somewhere. They always have them. So that can also be something like a decoration as well. And
that sounds cool. I've seen them actually, those branches and piles of, what was it? Straw, yes. Around the supermarkets, even in the other stores, I've started to see them around.
Yeah, exactly. So this is basically what we do. But I remember when I was in one of my friend's house, she's Croatian, so they are Catholic, you know, so she has a slightly different custom. And she would completely change her house, meaning like the tablecloth is now red and Christmassy, and everything is red and Christmassy. And sure, nowadays, it's becoming like that, I think, because it's just fun. It gives you that spirit. But we don't do that. It's like the little things like the straw or like branches or something like the wheat sprouts. But that's basically it. That's as much as I can remember, actually. There's also some 3 family bonding holidays that are basically like each Sunday before Christmas. And they're called Detinci, Materice, and Oci. But that is a story on its own. It has like, there's a game with tying people up before they wake up. But I've never done it, so I don't really want to talk about it. I don't think we have time to talk about that as well. But definitely check it out. We will link it. We'll actually like write down the information in the comments.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you want to know some phrases, isn't it?
Yes, I want to know. I know Srećan is something that I learned and found quite useful. That means happy something. So I know that Srećan Rođendan is happy birthday. So let me guess for the new year. It should be Srećan Nova Godina.
Yeah, that's good. Srećna Nova Godina. So Godina is feminine. So Srećna Nova Godina.
Srećna Nova Godina.
Yeah, so I wrote down some things. So Christmas, as we said, is Božić. Christmas Eve, Badnji dan, or Badnje veče, actually. New Year's Eve is Nova Godina. And I also added this in, Santa Claus is Deda Mraz, which basically means Grandpa Frost. Something like that. It's like, I don't know why we translate it like that, but it is like that. So if you want to say Happy New Year, you can say Srećna Nova Godina. And then you can answer Hvala takođe.
Takođe.
Yes.
And you too.
Exactly. Or you can say I tebi Srećna Nova Godina. To you too.
I tebi.
Yeah. Srećna Nova Godina. So you don't have to repeat it. You can just say takođe. You're going to kiss 3 times. You're going to hug. And that's basically going to be it. 3 times kissing is essential. But then or you can also say, whenever you write a message, you can say Srećni Božićni I Novogodišnji praznici, which is Merry Christmas and New Year's holidays. So you combine everything, because for us, it's not Christmas and then New Year's Eve, but it's New Year's Eve and then Christmas. So like, let's just put everything together and like, whatever, Christmas, you know. And
all of it.
All of it, just, you know.
Okay.
But I seriously didn't know, when I was younger, didn't know that our Christmas was different from everyone else's Christmas. I was like, what is on the 25th of December? I don't get it. And then I had to learn. And then what do you think about happy or Christmas? How would you say it?
I think it's masculine, so it should be Srećan Božić.
Yes, it's good. It's good. So if you tell me Srećan Božić, I would tell you, again, you can say hvala takođe. You can say I tebi Srećan Božić. Again.
Okay.
What you can also use is Hristos se rodi.
Hristos means Christ, I guess.
Christ is born.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you tell me that, I answer, vaistinu se rodi. Truly he is born.
Ah,
yes.
Vaistinu se rodi.
Yeah, okay. And there's a similar thing we also use for what is it? Easter, yeah, something with Christ and his resurrection. So it's a very similar way how you say it. I'm not going to say it now because it's going to be too much information. Yeah. But this is something. So you can just say Srećan Božić and then just say hvala takođe. Or you can say Hristos se rodi, vaistinu se rodi. Or you can just say vaistinu.
Okay, good. And I heard a song, actually, I was looking for it, like Jingle Bells song in Serbian, I heard. So maybe I will add it to this podcast a little bit. I really enjoy the way they sing.
Yeah, it's something like zvončići, zvone celu noć. It's like, yeah, ostaju u sećanju jer zima će proć. I think, I'm not sure. But I remember hearing it only on the like TV. It was like an ad for something, I think. But we don't have like Christmas carols. We don't do that.
Okay.
No.
I was going to ask you that. No. Is it really sung at the churches, or how is it produced?
So our Orthodox churches, they don't do like choirs, like only for like specific occasions, but it's mostly like it's just a priest and like very kind of like, I don't know how that's called, but it's definitely not like as much harmonizing and as like these like not Christmas but Catholic churches where you're like gospel church. That's completely the opposite. Like if you go to our church, if you're used to these kind of like choirs and singing and uplifting your spirit, that's exactly the opposite of what we have in our church. It's just a different tradition. We use just the voice, no instruments, and like two or three people maybe singing, and that's it. Very monotone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Good to know. And I have another question about telling the year. I know that numbers, when they get bigger in Serbian, it's kind of hard to tell them.
So we don't do like in English 2020. We don't do like 20s or like decimals.
Digits, yeah.
Yes. We do 2020. So that would be 2000 is 2020. Oh, actually, let's say 2020. Let's say 2020.
2020.
And it's 20 because it's feminine. So it's not 20,
it can be different.
But it's a year, Godina.
Okay.
Or you can say 2020 Godina. So it's...
Okay, let me try then, 2021. 2021. Prva.
It's different because it's not one, but it's first, right? Actually, that's how we say it.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, right? I'm like, you don't know. Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Srećna 2021. You can just say that, I'm guessing. But isn't it a bit difficult to pronounce it? Yeah.
It is, I think. Yeah. It is. But hiljade, okay. But I just get confused when we use the same number in different padežes in cases.
Yes.
But I'm not going into that. I will just give some tips for our followers on Instagram about it. But that's all.
Exactly. But I've been talking about Serbian for quite like our traditions and everything, and now I remember that you also don't celebrate Christmas as the Western. Yeah, exactly. I was like,
not at all.
I was like, we're so special, but it's like, oh no, other people also don't celebrate Christmas when Catholics do.
Yeah, but still we have the New Year decorations around in Turkey, and some people buy trees even though they're not Christians, it's just for decoration and for fun for the kids.
I mean, I don't like spending my money that much on these kind of stuff, but if it does uplift your spirit, then just do it,
Yeah.
I don't like the consumerism that's around, it like having to buy presents for everyone. For example, my sister has a kid right now, and she has friends who have kids 1, 2, 3, and now the tradition is like you have to buy the like presents, like bags with like snacks for everyone, for every kid. It's like a must. And that's quite a lot of money for our paychecks. It's quite expensive.
And it's not that healthy as well. Like to give, I mean, you give one pack to that kid and then other people give another pack. So that means that poor kid has a lot of sweets.
No, you literally have a closet of sweets. I'm not kidding. Like before you just open the closet and like, okay, I have like 20 chocolates, like bars of chocolate. That's literally how it is right now. Sadly, it is. And that's the only time when everyone's like, you're allowed to eat sweets. There you go, So I always tell my mom not to like buy so much, buy me like bitter chocolate or something like that. Otherwise, I'm going to go into sugar coma.
Yes.
And I saw the last thing you wrote was classical jokes for the new year.
Yes, like see you next year kind of joke.
I was like, we don't have it. Like, but yeah, I'm guessing it can be. You see, I haven't thought about it. Yeah, you can just say like, vidimo se sljedeće godine. See you next year. Or vidimo se u 2021. Oh my God, that's complicated because that's another case.
I know.
But yeah, you can say that, but we don't have any other jokes. So there you go. Did you learn something new?
So many words. And I took notes and I will share them on our Instagram and people will celebrate their new year in Serbian.
Exactly. I'm going to buy wheat today. Start my wheat sprouts. And I hope you're going to... do maybe something in your apartment, even though it's not your tradition, but just kind of try to see how people like do it in Serbia and get the feeling and impress your friends.
Yes, I will, as always.
As always. Okay, guys, thank you very much for listening. I hope you learned something. In the next episode, what are we doing, Maki?
We are talking about something important again, which are... Proverbs, yes, because I hear them all the time and I really can't understand them well. I mean, we need to understand the basic, most common ones, I think. So we will be talking about proverbs in Serbian.
So stay tuned in. Thank you for listening and talk to you in the next episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Srećna Nova Godina.
Srećna Nova Godina, Srećan Božić, and prijatno.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our podcast and learned something new.
In case you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, make sure to share them on our Instagram page, Može Kafa Podcast. Prijatno!